So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And nobody cares about you. But that's a good thing. I know that people normally say that and then they feel so despondent and they feel so sad that nobody cares about them. And to me, this is the context I'm talking about it in. We are anonymous. Most people can walk down the road without a bunch of people thronging after them and, causing a traffic jam and a big story or something like that. And most of us are afraid to do public speaking or go up on stage and say something or do something for fear of everyone looking at us and what they'll think about us and the whole 9 yards, I think is what they call it. I forget. That was a good movie I don't know if it was a great movie. It was an interesting movie, I suppose. Anyway, I've been in that situation a number of times where I felt like, oh my God, everybody's looking at me. And I assume it's something like kind of a psychiatric therapy that you can use for PTSD, which is that you go over something over and over and over and over again, and after a while you grow numb to it. And I think that may have happened to me. Maybe. So when I was learning to dance, my dance teacher, she needed a driver to drive her around to places that were having parties, because that's what she did. She would basically support all of these different people that she knew in the dance community, ballroom dancing community and Latin dance community, mainly ballroom dancing community. And she would go to the different events that they were having and basically patronize them. And if there was a ticket that needed to be purchased, since I was driving her, she would pay for it for me, and that would be it. This happened over the course of a number of years, and I learned a lot more about dancing from being on the dance floor with the 2 or 3 steps that she might have shown me, and seeing other people doing things and then trying them and maybe trying them in class, and then realizing that I could do them. So I can't say that I have a specific dance in my head that I remember completely, because what I mean is all the dances and all the moves seem to just blend over into each other. So whatever I might do in one move, I end up in one type of dancing and just try it in all the others. But when I was first learning, I think it was the foxtrot she was showing me, and I guess that same evening she'd shown me how to do and we'd gone over it a number of times in class. And it was basically, I can't remember what they call it. I guess it's a particular routine that she showed me. If it was karate, it was a particular kata, which is like a particular routine that you do, a very specific routine by yourself. But of course in dancing I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, we went to the place, and I don't know if I mentioned this in another piece or not. If I did, I'm talking about it again. But basically, so everybody was on the dance floor dancing. It was packed. It was full of people. And then, the music stopped, and everybody started leaving the dance floor at the same time. I don't know, I guess nobody wanted to dance a second dance or a third, or people who weren't dancing, there weren't any of those. But anyway, it was completely empty. She said, let's get up and dance. And it was just the 2 of us. I mean, in terms of how I would feel, or you would feel, or anybody would feel about it, here it is that you just learned some moves just that same day, or maybe it was the second week that you learned it, and you were going to dance on an empty dance floor, and everybody in the place, I'm talking about, it could have been between 50 and 100 people, they're just watching you. And I was mortified. I mean, I've done things on stage, not a lot, just one or two things here or there. But still, here I was going to make mistakes on this empty dance floor with my dance teacher. The thing about it is that if you're a girl, don't take this in any particular way. It's like Eminem says when he talks about, those names he calls people. It's not meant to denigrate them, and it's not meant to denigrate you. But, okay, let me just say, like Marty McFly, I'm not a chicken. So my dance teacher wanted to do it. Whatever happens, I'm gonna go do it. So I get up on it's just a dance floor. It's the same level as everything else, and it's like quick, slow, quick, slow. That's like the beat that is common to a lot of different dances, I think. So anyway, I'm doing it, we're doing it. I make a mistake here, I make a mistake there, and I guess I look at the people every so often, and I realize something by looking at the people, that they were doing exactly what I would be doing, what I was doing just a couple minutes before. They were talking to each other. Yeah, they would look at me, definitely, for a second or two, and then they would look at somebody else that they might be interested in. They might get up and go to the bathroom. They might get up and go buy something to drink or to eat or whatever. And that was it. That was basically what it was. I was not a performer. This was not me on a play. They didn't come to see me. So, yeah, some of them took in and probably saw the mistakes that I made. And yeah, I guess it would have been embarrassing. But all in all, when I did it that first time, and then the other time, and then the other time, and whatever, even when I was trying to pick up what other people were doing and I made a mistake, it really never was that big a deal. And that's what I came to realize, is that people don't have time for you. People don't have time to look or care that much about anybody else. I mean, yeah, if you make a mistake, especially among kids, people might make fun of you and be like, and call you names and whatever else. And in that instant, amongst those people that know you, and this is the thing about it especially, I didn't really know most of these people. We were just at an event that had dancing, a dance club sort of, and I didn't know most of these people. Otherwise, maybe it might have been more painful. I certainly wouldn't want to be dancing in front of my family. But then again, it's the same kind of idea. I suppose the most annoying thing about doing it in front of your family is that they might want to give you advice even though they didn't take the class and they don't know much about dancing themselves, and they probably would never get up and do it themselves, but they might want to give you advice, and that's like, why are you giving me advice? You don't, it's not like you can help me. It's not like you know what you're talking about. So I think that we get too caught up in what we think the situation is. Even like, let's say you approach somebody that you think that they're pretty or something on the street, a girl or a guy. I wish more girls would approach guys. That's another story. Girls have approached me, and I wish I was more prepared for it because I didn't respond how I thought I would respond. But yeah, even off of a stage or something where people can see you, I think a lot of us get caught up in what will people say, what will people think of me and what I did, and we get caught up in imagining what somebody else is thinking of us. I know, for example, with me, with respect to myself and people in my community and so on, that might be something that might run through my head. There might be some or a particular person, a neighbor or so, that you might not get along with. And you might feel like you force yourself to acknowledge them or to say hi or something like that. And that does not reduce the stress of any interaction with them. And it might seem unusual to some of you, and to some of you it might seem perfectly normal. But what's the point of having any interaction with them because of what you think they will think of you and what other people will think of you? The amount of stress that you might have to deal with just in order to be able to say to them, hey neighbor, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's not worth it for just 1 or 2 seconds every other day, once a week, once every 2 weeks. Maybe it's not that worth it. Maybe it's not worth it to have to do that. So, and actually in the instances where I've done that, like I said, like this piece is about, people don't really care about you, about the small things or even the big things. I remember I've had what's the best way to say it? I've had big pimples or some kind of wound, let's say a cut or a gash, or if it's worst case scenario, like some kind of a sore or something on my face. And I would be thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, people are going to be staring at that. And maybe they do. But in the instances that I'm thinking of, I didn't catch anybody staring at me. I guess, and I personally would not have been staring at anybody else. Yeah, maybe somebody might stare at you if they don't have enough social savvy. But once they've gotten their heart's content of staring at you, then they're done and move on to something else. They're bored with you. Yeah, I saw that. You saw what was on Lewis's face? Oh my God, it's horrible. And you talk about it and you talk about it, and then, well, that's the end. So, if any of you guys are crippled by a fear of other people, and I guess I was, for a long time I was crippled by the fear of what other people thought about me. Through high school I was. And what I realize now is nobody cares. And that really, really is a good thing. And there's a lot of people whose lives look so perfect, and it's worse than yours. Nobody cares, and that's a good thing. So anyway, guys, you can wish me lucks. You can like or unlike. You can comment, subscribe, and or share. Peace.